Like I call to order, the historic commission meeting tonight, September 4th. Just do a quick roll call again for everyone here when it's your turn to speak. Please come down to the front. Tell us your home address. We'll know what the project is. Tell us your home address and then tell us the project. We need 4 votes for it to pass. There's 4 commissioners, the street here, and we have 1 online. So you need all 4 for yes tonight, and any night for that matter. Do a roll call before we get started. Myself is here. Chairman Artie is absent. Commissioner Kroll.
Yes, here.
Thank you. Commissioner Zorski is absent. Commissioner Walsh.
I'm super.
And Commissioner Espoir. That's here. Great, thanks. Anyone had a chance to review the minutes? 7th, 21st.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for the August 7th and August 23rd meeting.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, thank you. Minutes are in for both dates.
21st.
7th and 21st. Okay, first item on the agenda is the construction of a single-family dwelling on Buckingham Street. Understand that's the continuance has been requested.
And it's a 30-day extension and a continuance to September 18th.
Make a motion that we accept the extension and wait continue to the September 20th.
Second.
You. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. Buckingham Street is continued. Next item is the new construction on West South Pine Street.
Now, it's my, I understand that the next 4 continuances are all within their time limits and they are only extended to the 18th.
Yes, so Pine Street expires on September 21st. Sumner expires on September 22nd. And Maple Street is October 7th.
I would just ask if the people there could speak up just a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry. So Pine Street is gonna expire September 21st.
Right.
And Sumner Ave will expire on September 22nd. And Maple Street, which is a new hearing, expires on October 17th.
So I would make a motion that we combine and on a public hearing, we can change the number 2 and 3 and public hearing room and 5. The 1 motion to continue to the September 18th meeting.
Second.
The motion is to continue 2, 3, and 5 under public hearings new.
2 and 3 under continued and number 5 under new because they're all within their dates.
Yep.
To be continued to the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, everyone clear on that?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor?
Yes.
You. Okay, so all 3 of those are continued to the next meeting.
So we get the right papers out of the way then.
Okay. So the first, next item on the agenda under continued would be 123 Bay Street. You guys can come forward, come on down. Welcome back. Name and address for the record?
My name is Ezekiel, I'm putting the basis.
You know?
Les Mary Feliz.
Great.
173 base.
Thank you very much. Okay. So the application we heard it last time is to replace the windows and doors.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay, I think you were gonna bring samples of windows or something so that we could see what the windows are gonna look like. All right.
That's why I'm putting the. Well, they know it up, I'm thinking of.
This was the last one that you brought, and I think that you said, I wasn't here last time, but he's saying that you guys wanted to see the bottom part of the window, is that? So we took no pictures to see if you can see them better. We brought few samples, different samples. Um, There's some difference too.
Even though it was just some. Yeah, I think this might be Johnson. What's in the packet? Judy, the pictures we're seeing are the ones that I think are in the packet. If you have the packet. On the window.
They should be upstairs.
This one.
Okay, thank you.
The leading edge of the cooler air with a shower. Hold on.
Oh, goodness.
We can hear you.
I know.
Yeah.
And what's? What's this one?
This, the big one. See the side.
It's up to you.
Is that full clip? Just trying to get like. Right. Into.
I think that's a good picture of the time.
Well, probably take a lot of pictures of the inside, what it looks like from the inside, you need a picture of what it looks like on the
Yes,
outside.
outside.
Because it's the outside.
It's the outside of the concern with what it looks like. These are all pictures of what it's gonna look like in your house. It was, if you're sitting in the house.
So. You have. Multiple window models that you kind of presented to us, right? So there's this one, this survivor window, there's the Harvey window. And it looks like there's an Anderson window, so. Do you know which one you're choosing, or did you bring these as options? What's your intent?
Yeah, so tú le traes varias opciones diferentes. So, tú la traes como que ya tú sabes cuál tú quieres usar para presentársela a ella como opciones. Some more like to give you guys options, see which ones you guys are for. He will want to use, but he will want to use that one because it's less much cheaper, but.
It didn't.
And this one looks closest to the one that. One he took one out.
Okay.
You have one with you?
The existing? We like show and tell. We like show and tell. It helps us.
This is one of the new ones or one? that
No, the one that I have.
Was in the house?
Yeah.
But yeah, bring the one, just for a second.
Oh.
Oh, my. No, these are tough.
Is this the photo you're saying is from the other side? That's that one from the other side.
So this is what,
I just said it's like that.
Yeah.
this is
This
what,
is what was already.
This was.
Yeah,
This is that. That one from the other side.
Well. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he also said us, I know, last time he was here, they told him that they will send someone, but no one went, no one at all.
I had gone by, I guess I missed it, but I wasn't, a lot of the windows look like they were boarded up. So I came by, but there wasn't anybody there, so I just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they boarded out when no one was there.
Yeah, so I wasn't.
So you said go.
So there wasn't anyone safe, so.
Yeah.
so that's,
Sorry, I missed it.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Now, just this, because that was on there. That limits what we can ask for.
Yeah.
This, I'm not sure if you guys agree, but this window right here looks like it's.
That's the smallest,
It's
so.
the smallest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
lowest. So in the white. White was in there. I think we asked if there were any other colors available. Did we?
Él te preguntó anteriormente si había otros colores disponibles.
¿Quién?
Ellos colores también.
No,
Nada de
pero en esto mismo, sí, ellos tienen en el sitio que fui, tienen tres colores.
And the place where they have them, they have all the partition.
Brown, white. Él me lo metió en una clase,
You can have a, you won't put your house.
do they have,
Or a brief somewhere.
do they have brown?
Do we got down?
like this color.
The stands and.
Sandesque or whatever.
Well, you need to get windows in that house, yeah.
Well, students. You know, we're, this is a little different than a normal replacement speed.
That already had.
It already had it. And our ask is that just, these closes. I'm just not sure what the lights are in there. Are they all 1/1s?
In other words, were there any divisions in the windows? No, what did the old window, do we have any old
That's.
pictures?
That's it, right?
That's it, that's the old picture.
Yeah.
2015.
They all just look like 1/1s.
Yeah.
But I mean historic,
Oh,
if, in other words, if there's no real difference in cost and it adds a little history back, maybe that would be good.
Yes. Diga que yo digo los
So it looks like there was one,
Yeah, it looks like 2/1
yeah,
or 2/2. This thing.
oops, sorry.
no,
Well,
not enough.
Yeah, so this one, I think is kind of like the one that you're saying, and it's so expensive.
I said wood.
Yes,
That one is like.
yes.
This is smaller.
what's the model? of it? Yeah, just.
You know, if there were 1/1s there. I mean, this one at least has a low sill, it doesn't have a big fat sill at the bottom. Typically, when these were put in, they were dark in color, they were either black, copper, or brown, or something dark. We consider this window in like a brown, that's Sandesque color.
Which one?
One that he liked, that he wanted to use.
Okay, so, tú la puedes considerar en otro color, porque so you guys just don't want, right? That's what it is?
Yeah.
Don't want one.
Que no quieren blanco, so si tú la estás de acuerdo en poner en otro color, está bien, esta, pero.
Yo no sé si fue la idea que me dio con los diferentes colores.
Oh, okay.
I think that, I think. Depending.
So this one is the one that's most, you guys are gonna.
Well, it's.
You just liked it, I liked it, so we're
Ah,
trying to pick the
okay.
one that you liked, that.
Yeah, I think the one that they told
I
me.
can check, but no.
You very likely could get this one, at least two what I call it.
Yeah, if I think the scholar, I think.
No, no, I.
Yeah,
no quiero-
he meant that,
Okay.
yeah, because
So si tú
clearly
te
that had
¿Cuál
white
es?
vinyl windows in there, and then he's
Yeah.
to darken those tones down and stuff.
Ah, okay. Para el día cuenta seguro que tienen eso.
So they must have.
Yeah, he can do another color.
We just want to see, so.
Okay, esa fue la que vieron que
That's the window manufacturer.
Since the driver.
La que te-
One is us. One is us.
Esta. Ah, esta es Pero esta.
We're good.
So we can find out about it.
Licença. Licenças. Essa é muito. Does any other one that I presented you today work with you guys or for the more because he left that one?
Well, I can't tell the pictures,
Ah,
won't tell us how. Let's see.
Yeah, if you have one like this, then we could stop with the bottom. looks like.
Okay, outside.
Typically, the Harvey windows look more appropriate, but without seeing it, it's hard to know. It depends on.
and.
We got each of.
Is this, yeah, I just did a print, I was showing him earlier. This is the one from the same one,
Yeah.
Harvey? I just didn't print it.
Okay.
I got to print that for you. You can zoom in. That's the Harvey one. From the house. That's, no, that's from,
That is pretty,
That was fine.
that is down there, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Harvey's typically have it pretty.
okay. And that one, they have both of them.
Well, what's the model number on the Harvey?
They heard, yeah, take a picture of them. Okay,
It's down there.
where, oh, this one. See you later.
Yeah, see, this is going on.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know.
I got it. You found out.
Can I invalid signal them?
I've been working with it up tomorrow, but it will be a couple of weeks, so.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Is there any way it's giving us the? It's ready to know.
Shots, right? I can't.
So you try I-280.
I have given the information and tell us This window's acceptable to be
A hardy window and
Yeah.
put in a dark.
on a darker color, a tan or a bronze. Yeah, just not bright white. That'd be acceptable.
Nice and loud for
Oh, sorry.
Doctor, can hear me online. Okay, so that was satisfy the window part of it. Doors, you got a couple of doors as well.
Yes.
Nothing like this. I think I'll make these.
It looks like they're going for a steel. They're putting steel white color in it.
You want from existing, the same thing, both front and the side, two pencil.
Would you,
Yeah.
Just
Let's get you to the back end.
yeah, I think that it's my football. Yes. Well, this is also a case of they can place lights and light.
That's the example they provided up there.
this one?
That's from when the fruit keeps on.
The door could be painted though.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, you might wanna think about the front door
Okay.
to match.
I'm okay.
No windows, okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
that
it'll
would
just,
be easy.
it's gonna look
a little off, but it's okay.
more like the belongs to what you have.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, and that, what's in.
What's there? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all it's there.
except that it goes along with the hotel, so we.
It's in the ears.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to read that to make a motion, so really you have to make.
Okay, any other questions from commissioners?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Thank you. I would open it up to public comment, if anyone would like to speak for or against the project, or against the project. And hearing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. If no one has any questions, I would entertain a motion on the application, 153 Bay Street.
Okay. I move that we accept the application of the hardy windows as provided and the door with the stipulation that the door and the windows are a dark color.
And if she needs to go home and focus on
Just
herself.
darker
This
than.
is probably the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
decision.
Darker. Second, not
We got it.
one wall number.
I got my coffee going on.
You kept your one.
Yeah, that's Harvey bottle number.
We're still motioning.
There you go, you're still motioning, so right in the bottle was on that.
Model number for the windows is H11-280-3. 1/1. And the door is,
So it is the Galaxy A15.
Yeah, up on the screen down. Very at the bottom.
Galaxy A15 5G.
Well, that's from the phone, I think.
You're not helping me here.
I think that's from the phone, I don't think that's the phone.
I was so happy.
Yeah, I like a nice name for it.
All right. So the door,
I think it's this one right here. It's the S43 Lake Craftsman.
okay,
It's in the back of it.
so S43, steel 6 light Craftsman 32-inch.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion?
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Kroll?
yes, aye.
Thank you, okay. Any opposed? Okay, so that's it. So you're approved for that. If anything changes, they don't have that specific window dark in color. They don't have this door dark in color. You want to do something different, just gotta come back and say, this didn't work out, we gotta do something different. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
What your project.
You can always paint the door, right?
I have to sell
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Better if they can just find.
Thank you, Albert.
Have a good night.
Okay, first public hearing new, North South State Street sign.
Welcome. Sean White, from the Springfield Museum, Springfield Facilities. 554 Main Street, Somers, Connecticut. So. We had a parking lot put in by the city on the backside of the George Walter Vincent Smith Museum. This signage exact size is put across the street on State Street, where a State Street lot is waiting room. Talked to Mike in zoning, he has no problem with the sign, it's just an exact sister of the sign we have across the street. With a new lot behind the George Walter Vincent Smith Museum. And for library patronage parking as well. It's a 29 spot parking lot with handicap access. We're just looking to reinstall a similar sign across the street there. Where you have that is existing sign. Just making vision. That's all.
It would be.
It sent some pictures just to kind of.
Oh, yeah, when we bring those.
Yeah, it's actually right. We had a whole string of pictures.
Oh, that would be inside.
Oh,
It doesn't.
State Street's changed.
yeah.
Sign.
It's been an hour.
Hey, you know.
A long time. So.
There you go.
You gotta go right there. So behind that electrical panel there, it's for a piece of grass out there, it's for projecting, putting that sign. So that's right there in front of that gray car, there's a island and so we.
And the current sign is on the other side of the street.
Very good, good. Right there in front of the silver cars where we want to put the sign. And if it rotates 180 degrees, you'll see the picture of the sign that. It's the sister of the sign.
Keep going, Andrew.
He's trying, doesn't want to move.
And the mock-up is it. It's that.
This one's on this.
He hit them.
Yay, where's the sign?
It's a little bit more as you. Part of that.
Oh, there it is. Would it be in the same like that?
Same exact way, but different signage on both sides. It's really just same sign, same sign across the street.
Okay. Great. Any other questions? Commissioner Kroll, any questions?
I'm sorry, I wasn't muted. I was, no questions.
Okay.
I have
Great, I don't think we have any public comment on this one, right? I'd open it up to public comment, if anyone would like to speak for or against the application at the time. Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comment, back to those commissioners, so we'd entertain a motion. For the sign at 21 State Street.
motion to accept the application for sign at 220 State Street. State Street. Presented.
Second, did you finish reading? I like this.
Any other discussion on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Commissioner Kroll is gonna be yes,
Yeah.
Commissioner Kroll, yes,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh, yes, and Commissioner Esposito.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Plans approved, I can tell everybody, you already know, what the changes. Get back, let us know, and I think you are next with, 85 Chestnut Street, right? Yep.
We're just doing an in-kind replacement for the Museum of Springfield History.
Mhm.
Years ago, the granite walkway was put in when they did the restoration. Granite walkway deteriorated, the building is brick. The walkway is also brick, so we're just doing an in-kind replacement. Saving some of the granite to use as a coloring, insetting full brick instead of tile. I think it's more representative of how it should look. In a, in a nice creative pattern. I think it's more representation of what the building should look like, considering it's brick and granite now. Infill, there's gonna be a little bit more decoration, but it's pretty much how. So this is all coming. It's all coming out, but we're using like in a pattern we've got, we're using the granite that's savable, using it for the coloring, and then insetting full brick instead of the tile.
Is this a driveway? Is it used-
We do bring, like the Rolls Royce and other cars do go through that access to get into the museum out, so it's limited. But it needs to be able to withstand some
Someway.
car traffic. Not the way to the normal road or normal parking. No, just very occasional, and we'll use some support to bring it in.
So-
Brought some traffic.
Why did it
It
deteriorate?
wasn't set correctly. When they bedded it, I believe it was during the winter time, and a lot of it deteriorated or froze before they bedded it. And the thickness of the granite was only 1.25 inches rather than a couple of inches, so once those slabs are 16 inches, once they found a weak spot, they just started to shatter in the corner. So that's where we really wanted to go with the brick, because it's much harder to break. And just reusing the collar and,
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Commissioner Kroll, any questions on the application with the brick and granite?
No questions.
Thank you. Okay, open it up to public comment. Anyone like to speak for or against the application museum? Okay, hearing none, I'll bring it back in. And entertain a motion on 5 Chestnut Street, 21 Edward Street.
Make a motion that they said, this is a.
No, I brought it to the board because I thought where the variance was a little bit too much in approved boundaries.
Motion set. Walkway with brick.
Need a second? Okay, any other questions on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh, yes. Commissioner Porter.
Yes.
And yes. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks. You too.
Okay, next item under new is 66 Hall Road. Welcome back.
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Robert back there, North Fall, 77 hundred calls. There we have sun on, it is 62 Soul Road. We're looking at installing 20 black on black panels on the back side of the home. 10 panels on one section, 10 on the other. The electrical equipment's on the left side of the home. Really can't see it from the street. When we drive on the backside of the road, you know, behind the home on Florida Street or Florida Ave, on the work, you really can't see the roof, through the trees. You could probably see it on Google.
Can we get a front shot, please, of the house? Andrew?
And conduit that we have that's exposed, outside will be the color of the home as well.
Okay, so there will be nothing on that front.
Nothing on the wires. Exactly.
So where's the shut off in the meter gonna be?
Left side of the home,
In the back,
inside.
so.
Which side, that
Left
side?
side,
How far back from the cell phone from?
It's, I would say,
Foundation line of the house.
it's, probably, they got, set here, I'd say it's pretty well at the corner, you may see it on that edge, maybe, right there.
Can you move it further back?
We,
Or
Oh,
two?
is that a ring?
So I was corresponding with someone from Sunray that said they put it on the back of the house.
okay,
That's what I thought I had seen.
okay, I was just going by with the plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
have the
You
sheet,
put it
sorry,
in the back.
There might have been,
changed it, I changed it. Yeah, so it'll be on the back side of the home and that makes it a lot.
Yeah, it's just minimal visible.
Exactly. I was just going by what.
If it's on the back like that,
Yeah,
yeah, they said, I'm gonna make sure they move the equipment to the back of the house.
now do you need the conduit painted on the back side of the home or?
you don't have a bit. Looks so awful, you painted to this house.
Right.
Well, if someone's driving down the street, just don't want it to stick out. Exactly. One painting kind of just shines your eyes, you don't understand. So. This fits our minimum visibility guidelines, I think. Give them a comment. I'll set, even the shut off the here, exactly, things on the back. So. Okay, it's easy.
Any other questions? No. Commissioner Kroll, any questions? No, you good? Okay,
No questions.
okay. No, the nod, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, I'd open it up to public comment, anyone like to speak for or against the application for River 60 Ingersoll? Okay, very good, hearing none, I'll bring it back to the commission. I would entertain a motion on the application at 60 Ingersoll on the solar. That's presented.
Move to accept the application as, is this amended to reflect?
I would say as presented in the submitted application noting that conduit and meters and utilities limit is in the rear of the house.
So I move to accept the application provided that the conduit and all of the other lots are placed in the back and indeed if they are a significant contrast.
Any second?
Second.
You, okay, any other questions on that? Any other discussion?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Commissioner Walsh? Commissioner Nespor,
Yes.
and yes, Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you, the next one.
tell everybody if anything changes. Yeah, if anything changes, if let us know, you come back.
Thank you guys.
You should,
Have a good evening.
you too. They have flowers for you.
I went there before, right during renovation, and I said to the little girl, I said, "Well, it's done, the flagpole, I volunteered." So, well, So my colleague went there, he says it's looking good, because they got a lighting up there too.
Okay, next one is 66 Garfield Street.
Smith, 66 Springfield Street. And we need some windows.
So tell us
Okay.
what you have. What you're proposing.
Okay, there's 10 windows that need to be replaced. And, the previous owner had already put in newer windows.
Okay.
So some of the windows are starting to fall apart and they won't close all the way and
Is this the new ones?
no, these are the old ones. They were not all replaced. Okay, no, but she did have a lot of them replaced. But the ones that weren't,
Are these windows you're proposing the same as the one?
matches and yeah, like I said, some of the windows won't close.
Yeah.
A couple windows won't even open.
This just sounds familiar. How long have you been?
16 years.
So it's not like that here.
Yeah. The previous owner, yeah, she had the windows put in.
And those are the windows that.
Yes,
Okay, and Amber, can you show the front of the house again so you can see what's there now?
It's this one, right?
yes,
The red one?
yeah, correct.
Can you zoom in a little, please?
You. It's just not responding.
No, I know.
Pretty hot.
Mhm.
Thank you. Like the little bit.
16
Well, that's interesting.
It's a lot of lights.
lights. 8 there, 4, 8, 20, 12, 16, sorry. I'll be honest today. 8 down the bottom and 12 at the other top.
Okay, so the 10 windows you're gonna replace, are they in the front, they in the back, and they on the side?
They're on the side and the back, oh, the front on the 3rd floor.
So
Yeah.
that one there.
Yes, and then there's one where the pink house is on that side as well.
So the 3rd floor all around.
The 3rd floor, yes. And the bathroom right there, in
Yeah.
between, it's in the middle, the
That
smaller
little- the
window,
small-
that's right there, yeah. And that one needs to be.
Are your
replaced.
bottom windows, are those lights, are those in between the glass or? is it-
They're in between. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
they were there,
Yeah, I know. I think you understand the value of having. them
Yeah.
there.
I know,
Yeah.
I wish they were black.
Yeah. Me too. But you're right, you're gonna duplicate the light patterns.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I have all the,
Direction.
measurements and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
there,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, all that. Okay,
Yeah. So it looks like all the first floor have been replaced already.
Right. Yes, on the 1st floor, except for the back,
So that was.
Yes.
You bought the house, that was already.
That was already
How are
there.
those windows holding up?
not too bad, not too bad.
That's one of the things we found, this is my preaching to the choir thing, is that, the vinyl windows last nearly as long as the wood. I mean, the good wood windows will last 5 times longer than that.
Really? Wow.
If you take care of either one, they'll last longer than they might. But
Okay.
the vinyl, we're already finding people coming back. and I've been here 13 and a half years, they're already coming back to replace the building things. Wow,
Yeah.
it's coming.
No, I don't know, I'll actually have them in because like I said, well, it'll be 17 years.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so I don't know how many years prior
Uh,
to that they were put in.
And this is this the same model or just a similar model?
I have no idea.
Margaret,
These- I
Got
just
some
got,
Mercury,
yeah,
cells.
I just got, okay.
They're gonna match what's in the house already. About 3 or 4 originals on the side, so.
Yeah, the one in, on the, where the yellow house is,
Yeah.
right? In between the two, the one that, that's the hallway.
Yeah.
Are you replacing one?
I really don't want to, but the guy, you know, says, oh, well, you're gonna change them, we can make them all match and whatever, but.
If he's gonna let it, that one match, the second floor was match. You don't think, I think he's still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, cause yeah, 'cause that one's like really
Yeah.
different.
Great, yeah.
I would love to have you consider,
Okay, you know what, I will.
because.
Tell them we would love.
Yes, okay, I will,
Your window's
yes.
been replaced already, so it kind of limits what we can do.
Okay.
We want them all to look the same for you, as
Mhm.
long as they sit low on the sill, which is one of the big things, because those, why cheap on the window, there's 2 inches of plastic. On the outside, you're looking at it, it's got this big fat plastic, it's like
Okay.
all over. These windows are clearly not that way.
Okay.
You want it thinner, you want it to sit down on the sill like the regular sky. That's why we look at the pictures, to see where they're sitting.
And then the one above that on the 3rd floor also needs to be replaced.
No, that's
Yeah.
just 12 over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine,
probably
yeah.
what this, in something the same.
Okay.
But at some point that. It's stored. Yeah, there are ways to preserve those.
Okay, you know what I'll do that with that one.
Yeah.
That'd be nice to do.
If
Yeah.
if you do take it out, don't throw it away.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know, somebody. I mean, I would appreciate that you would keep it for now.
Yeah, I'll keep it.
You have any other way like that, one they together to really close out and see if there's something else you can do other than. Well, there we go. Anything else? So we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, any other?
No, good.
Good, yeah. Good?
I'm good.
Commissioner,
Yep.
we open it up to public comment, would anyone like to speak for or against the project on the 10 windows at 66 Garfield Street? Or against, hearing none, back to the mission. I look for a motion, move the board number.
Mhm.
And we, unless you would like to.
No.
I move that we accept the application for replacement windows of the same, that match the ones in the house. With the strong recommendation that you consider saving the decorative window.
Yes.
On the one side.
Okay.
And second.
Second, please. Okay. Any other discussion? Well, Commissioner Walsh? Yes. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
And yes, Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Great.
All right.
If
Thank
that-
you.
something changes, or you can't get these windows, or something's gotta change, just come back. Tell us, tell us if it's a different window, or do something different, you gotta come back, is what we approved, is what we talked about.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so
Great.
much. Okay,
Right.
okay, thanks.
Did we want to do section 106 review?
Yeah, so the Bowden Street, the applicant, the applicant was actually supposed to be here around 6:30. He's coming from Northampton, so this would be great. In section 106.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump to the section 106 review, 2840 Main Street, exterior renovations.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the engineer.
Oh, sure. Well,
Should be ready then, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to do
What's good for, The administrative.
Right here, so,
Oh,
perfect area.
right on time. B,
He's probably sitting out at the table.
he was waiting, he had to make, he was waiting to hear his name vote, so.
There's a little inaction, not too bad. Okay, how's it going?
Good evening.
Kyle Nato, 50 Angelo Drive, Chicory, Mass.
Over PBTA, Marion, Miss. Great. Everyone? Okay.
So we're back, because last time we were here, we were talking about removing the chimney on top of the.
Right.
Thing, and it's about 10 times more expensive to remove than to maintain. And given that it's a historic building outside of this. Historic district, I guess. We decided best to try to store it. You only have to watch the restoration. Yeah, in terms of what we're gonna do.
Yeah, so the goal is that, so if we look at the chimney, which is the top portion right there. The top 4 feet of it, we basically need to rebuild the top 4 feet because it's falling apart. So we're gonna cut and repoint everything and rebuild the whole top with brickwork and mortar it. The rest of the chimney is structurally in good shape, so we're gonna repoint the rest. So,
The brick will match.
yes, correct. So same historical design. That's what's on there now.
And what do you,
That would come under ability. So.
It's section 106.
So I know just say it's not, yeah, there'll be no adverse. Impact, you know, when someone's doing historic and. Because everybody else is not, as opposed to impact. So this is clearly, no adverse impact.
So this is part of the overall restoration of the 2 buildings there.
right,
We'll break all the brick, so in the letter reflect, this is gonna go to FTA and state.
This
We
one's
got a letter
40.
just to wrap that whole project together, so that's not, you know, just the chimney, or just the building.
Oh, yeah, I kind of, it's kind of like an amendment, I guess.
Yeah, we already approved the other piece of it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the last hanging chad was just the chimney part. We already kind
Yeah, I
of,
think the last letter said that the chimney would be removed, so.
Yeah.
yeah, just a you amended.
I'll amend the letter to say that the chimney will be restored and repointed.
That's great.
can't wait to see it, hope you send us pictures.
So we just look at the motion, but the restoration of chimney, fills the issue has no adverse impact.
You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You give it out. Yeah. This, North South, Street. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back. Yes. Can you hold the address for the record, please?
Steve Jablonski, 22 Cleveland Lane, Springfield.
Thank you.
No, I have a form.
Free.
Oh,
Commissioner Crawl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us about your project.
all right, so, the proposed design is an infill of a vacant lot on Bowden Street that's owned by a company called Guidewire that hired me primarily to develop plans for the old Mental Health Association building right around the corner on 995 Worthington Street. And
they own, you know, part of the property is this parcel, which is still a residential parcel on Bowden Street, so you can see outlined in that light maroon. And so we started the project by developing the site plan that we just showed, and we submitted it for review with the Springfield Planning Department because it was a little bit unclear whether this facility, which is basically a 5-bedroom house or operated by Guidewire that services people with disabilities. However, the city has a policy about quote unquote group homes and whether they need a special permit or not. And so this was submitted to Phil Dromey in the planning department. We submitted our documentation along with a legal review that basically said that people who operate facilities such as this cannot be discriminated against, have to be considered, this house has to be considered a 5-bedroom house. That information was submitted to the law department of the city of Springfield, and they agreed 100%. So we did not proceed any further with advice from Phil Dromey. We did not proceed any further with the special permit because it was determined that we don't need a special permit. We do need, however, the review and approval of the design from your historical commission. That's why we're here tonight. So let me see, I'm not sure. I guess we could, I think, just review the floor plan quickly, and then I'm going to get into, you know, I don't want to beat around the bush. There's a lot of people that don't like this design, and I'm going to address that, and I'm going to put that whether or not their concerns are something more related to the use than the historical aspects. And I'm going to show you a very well-known neighborhood in Springfield that has basically the main contention, which I'm assuming that some of you at least, or maybe all of you, are aware of the opposition. And in summary, the opposition is they think it should be a 2-story house, and it's not a 2-story house. I'm going to explain why, and I'm also going to explain why I think that's valid in a historic neighborhood. And I'm going to show you a historic neighborhood in Springfield that I'm sure you're all aware of. It's not in a district, but I'm sure you're aware of it. And I'm going to show you a combination of 2-story and 1-story. So this is basically, it's a very, you know, kind of standard plan with bedrooms on the 2 wings, and then a kitchen and bathrooms basically in the middle. And facing Bowden Street, there's a porch with historic columns that's meant to mimic and repeat porches that are on the neighborhood houses, which I'll show you in a minute, rendering that we showed. It fits in with all the zoning code setbacks, the required lot lines, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all in full compliance. And so, does anyone have any questions regarding the plans? Okay. All right. So then we'll go. So this is the outside rendering, and obviously it's 1-story. However, I did understand. I think most of you know, but maybe some of you don't, that, you know, my entire career is working with historic architecture in Springfield. I was 9 years in your position and retired from that. I did not retire from the profession of architecture. So you can see what, and to some people's eyes might look a little funny, those windows above the roof, but those are actually windows into the kitchen area. So it's a taller ceiling, much taller ceiling in the middle. And that was an attempt to not build a 2-story house, But within the constraints of what guide wire and the people that they serve, what their needs are, that was my attempt.
Sure.
I would say the windows fit in perfectly. They're from your approved list, Pella. They have grills on the outside, not stuck between the middle where you get cloud interference and you can't even see the grills. The columns are historically accurate paired with the neighboring houses, and the lattice work below. It's not vinyl siding, it's a hardy plank type of siding, and the asphalt shingles are meant to fit in with the neighboring surround. They're not a slate, but they're a slate color. So if you can, Andrew, it's good to meet you in person, but if you could just scroll down to the next one. So this is the neighboring houses. And if you could, so if you look at the yellow house on the left, there's obviously a porch.
Mhm.
If you slid my porch over, you'd see it's the exact size. It's almost a duplicate, although those are kind of, I would say, that's not really a Victorian, but it's kind of bracketed. I don't really feel it's profitable to throw style names around, but anyway, so I feel that, I mean, that's for your judgment, but the intent of the design is to pick up the low porch. And if you pan over to the right, it's a brick house, but it does have, obviously some frontal things. There's double hung windows up and down the street. We have those in ours. The main ones on the first floor are, bigger because they're on the first floor. The ones that I was mentioning that are kind of in a story and a half are square because we don't have the, we're not going to build 20-foot high ceilings. So, and then if you pan over to my design, and you see what we're talking about. By the way, the door is a wood door. The railings are a wood picket, and below the railings.
Alexa, what's the note?
Below the railings are lattice. And if you can scroll over more to the right, you'll see the finish of Bowden Street. Is there anything more to the right? There may not be. Just the rooms.
The other house on the corner, stuck house.
Yeah, I think our rendering goes over. Yeah, okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah, yes. Okay, so you see another porch with columns. And you see the double hung windows, you see the wood trim, that's a stucco house, but ours is gonna be a hardy plank flat-work look. Now I'd like to just present my argument that this is perfectly appropriate in a historic neighborhood. And first, I'd like to say that as an architect, I've traveled the world, and I can assure you that in all the historic districts that I've studied, and I could show you, but I chose my neighborhood because it was the easiest to show you. But the main point is that historic neighborhoods can have 1- and 2-story, they can vary in volume. There's no law or historic principle that says once you have a 2-story house in a historic neighborhood, it's mandatory that you match the massing. That's just not the case. And this, can I just finish and before I, yeah. So this is Atwater Terrace. You don't have to tell me it's not a national register district. However, my contention, and feel free to argue it, is that this is one of the most significant historic collection of buildings in the city of Springfield. And so if you, could you start on the right, Andrew? Okay, yeah. So, and this is Atwater Terrace right off of Springfield Street. I just happen to live right around the corner, and I thought when I was driving up today, well, this would be the fastest way, so we did Google shots. So there's a green Victorian with a cone shaped turret. Right next to it is a classic brick colonial. with formerly a slate roof, but now it has a faux slate roof. And these are all contiguous, in other words, they're neighbors. I didn't put any gaps in. If you walked up and down the street, this is what you would see. And, you know, if you feel any doubt about that, just look on Google or drive over to Atwater Terrace and check it out for yourself. This is a modern version, 2-story. However, it mimics some of the massing in the windows and the roof lines. So here's our first 1-story building. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you that it makes a perfect ensemble or whatever. What I am going to tell you is I have lived there for 20 years. No one has ever said to me, Steve, I'm so bothered by this neighborhood, I'm considering moving out because of those 1-story houses. Or they don't say, I would love to try to sell my house, but because of those damn 1-story houses, the neighborhood has been denigrated. No one says that because it's not true. It's obvious that this is a beautiful neighborhood. And it's obvious that you can have a historically intact neighborhood with 1- and 2-story houses. And to make your only claim against, which is most of the people in opposition that I read, I don't maybe have read them all, but I read a large number of them. I would say that's not a valid criticism, saying that I don't like it because it's 1-story. Now, if you pan over to the left, you see there's a 2-story house again. That's kind of Victorian. It's more modern. It's a modern historic. And this could be someone could say, well, why don't you just copy that, Steve, and put that over on Golden Street? The answer is that the people, Guidewire, they service people with intellectual disabilities. It's a safety hazard for them to be on 2 floors. They cannot have a 2-story house. They will not build a 2-story house. You can get funded from the state to take care of handicapped people with a 2-story house. So, and then you look, and right next door to the left of this gray house is what? Another 1-story house. So that in a nutshell is my my case. I say what I showed you with the renderings is that this design fits in with the neighborhood. It's my contention that it does. And I would ask you to approve this design. By the way, I submitted all the documentation on the windows, all the materials as under the test. I don't think there's anything missing. We didn't try to hide anything. And this is what we have. And this is what we're proposing. And by the way, currently the lot is vacant with a trash pile. And it has been that way for, I'm not sure, I mean, I don't drive down Bowden Street that often, but for a number of years, let's put it that way. So I guess I'd like to say, you know, if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain.
Great. Commissioners?
What style, as an architect, would you say that is?
My design?
Yes.
I say it's a modified Greek revival, but style doesn't, especially when you're talking about modern architecture, it's, you know, people don't build Greek revival houses anymore. They don't build Victorian houses. They build Victorian inspired Greek revival. And, you know, are you going to say, well, is there any like Greek revival houses on the street? That's why I'm saying it's modified. I pointed out to you that it's the porch, the windows, the siding, the lattice. That's what fits into the context, not necessarily the style, but I would say, you know, that porch is exactly in line with the other porches you can see in the photos.
Well, I commend you for your choice of materials. All of them are, I believe, appropriate for this kind of historic neighborhood. They all seem to be very carefully considered for their fitting what we would expect a new project like this to come to. And I can tell that you spent a great deal of time analyzing this neighborhood and this setting. What I'm puzzled by is that the house is very, very long, which I understand because,
Right.
and as you look at it, it's striking in the difference, not because it's not two-story, but it looks so long and low compared to those on both sides. Where if this had been a smaller house, with a smaller front, it might have been, more in proportion,
Right.
right? But the length of it seems to leap out in the others around it and cause one to feel that this is more a commercial building than a residence, which is what you're creating.
Correct.
And it hit me when I saw it because I looked at your plot. Is you don't have to face the street, although the other houses do as an entrance. There are options where you could turn it sideways so that length wouldn't be right in everyone's face.
Yeah.
And then the end of the house would not, would be easy to make it feel as if it were a front if you wanted to, or not. But it makes it, so if you look at the others along there, you can see they're not much smaller in length, but because they're taller, this one, if you were to look at them, boom, it's
Yes.
very distinct because of its length.
Yeah, and I do have a response. I mean, it may not be to your thinking, but the reality is that, everything costs money. And so in order to get the rooms that these people need and to get that 10-foot high ceiling in the kitchens. And so I wanted to have, if you see on both wings, they're lower ceiling spaces and they're lower roofs. So that was one of the reasons to mass them the way I did. The main thing was just to develop a simple rectangular plan that would allow for these details. Because to be honest and frank with you, that's why you have all these people asking for vinyl windows, vinyl columns, vinyl this, vinyl that. Everything costs a lot of money. And if you want to have historic materials, you have to make some compromises somewhere. Now, if you could say, I think you compromised too much, you can feel free to say that. I'm not sure where St. Michael's and my former office are coming into view here. Westside Building. Yeah.
So the orientation of the building is not possible to move, or to change in any way?
Well, the way I guess I would say it's possible to consider that. However, yeah, that's what it looks like now. So is your point is, would it be possible to have some of the bedrooms more towards the back and so they wouldn't be quite as long? Is that what you're facing?
Just
Bowden Street?
twist the whole house around.
Well, yeah, then it would be too
Yeah.
narrow.
I
And
don't think so, not for a one-story, basically you have a one-story house with windows at the
yeah,
front. So if you turned that, what would the end look like? It would face the street.
well, if I did that, I wouldn't just turn it. I mean, I would redesign it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just turn it. It's then, I mean, you have to have, in other words, we need a porch. I'm not gonna put the porch on the side. That wouldn't make any sense at all. So the porches face the Bowden Street. So if I were to turn it, I probably wouldn't turn it because I think that would look like a row house that was on the wrong street. Because, oh, how did that get
Okay.
there?
That's just a question.
But I do think it is possible to have more of a square plan instead of a real long rectangular plan. but I'm not sure. That it would. Offer the opportunities, I mean, I guess it would be a challenge, but, and I would be willing to possibly examine that. I guess the main thing is, I have to say that the client has made it clear that a two-story, they're not gonna consider that. So that's out. So if someone's gonna say, well, it's two-story or nothing, according to Guidewire, it's nothing.
Well, I'm not gonna say that, but at least. Back out of what we're talking about now, back to the, I just want to be very respectful and disagree with the original premise.
Yeah.
Because historic districts grew out of the desire to keep them the same. They didn't grow out of an area where there's eight different styles on the same street like that water and say, let's protect it this way.
Are you saying that Atwater wouldn't qualify as a historic district if we think they
If
really wanted it?
if they wanted it out, but there's reasons why some are more historically protected than others. And I am surprised that you have argued the opposite sitting at this table right here, and now you're at, which is okay with me. I don't see it in the historical, any historical perspective in that. There would be, and part of it is the length, that just makes it stick out like a sore thumb because the front porches would be maybe 6 columns instead of like a, you know,
3 or 4.
like three or four, and I'm sure that the materials never, when you design the materials, never, I would never question it. It's just what it looks like, and this two-story is that, back to my premise, is that what we're trying to protect is, if you protect the overall look of the historic district, every house in it's gonna be better protected for values, historical value.
Right.
So.
Could I just push back on that a little bit?
Sure.
I was doing it. You have to tentatively, it's a fine balance. Because if you say the current owners are not gonna build a two-story space.
Right.
So do you think I would say I would argue, that it makes sense. If I own one of those two houses, I'd say, well, maybe it is long and it doesn't quite fit in, what other people are saying, maybe so. But it's a new house and it's filling in that blank.
Yeah, but if that was the premise we started with, we'd fill out every vacant lot with a ranch in the historic district.
But this is not a ranch. So it's a very difficult situation.
It is, I agree.
People are not gonna be in the future lining up with the vacant lots in all the historic districts. They're not gonna be lining up to build two-story houses unless they can do a multifamily. It's too expensive.
Well, I'm not ready to get up on that yet, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't approve some design for here.
Yeah.
I'm not related to the two. And I also came to this meeting having not read any of the negatives, and I still haven't. So that this is to me, this.
I think you're gonna hear from some.
It's
soon.
Well, once you said that, I started scanning through. There's a lot there. But I agree with Dana's general description of, why can't the front of this be a little more, a square?
I would say,
instead of all,
I would be
just
willing-
stick it all in
I
the front
can't
like
speak for
that.
the client, but I think that wouldn't be too far a stretch.
And the other, one of the other.
But it would pretty much, if you can imagine, it's gonna look like that, but it's not gonna be as long.
Well, right, but the columns to me just stick out, that doesn't look historic, the number of columns that are running across the top.
Okay, well, I mean, I could show you, I lived at Yellow Sulphur Springs in Virginia. And it was a Springs hotel, there's a lot of them in the south. And that, I'm telling you, their buildings were built in 1840 that look exactly.
Right, we're talking about.
They're not located on Bowman Street.
Bowman Street, we're talking about.
No,
this
we're talking about
property
proper historic content.
within the neighborhood on the street, so
Yeah.
context is important.
It
Right?
is.
Context, especially to the street, is important.
Right.
And one of the things that this board spent time with, especially on new housing guidelines, is when you go to build something new. What's on the street, what's around it, and you talked about it. But when I see this.
Yeah.
I see like a hospital.
Yeah.
I see like a dentist, I see It looks.
This is probably commercial
looks-
office, yeah.
It really doesn't look like residential. It really looks like there's 3 or 4 dentists there.
I think
There's
that's a
doctor
valid-
office there. The
valid
materials are wonderful.
I see what you're,
But when I see this, I don't expect to see this anywhere, maybe on St. James Avenue down the street.
yeah,
It looks like a commercial building. It doesn't look at all residential. And the best thing that you have is the materials, because I see that all of that is historically appropriate,
right.
but visually, I mean, remember, we're real shallow. It's just what it looks like, right? It's what it looks like. So when I see that, I just go, it's a doctor's office.
All right,
And part of why when people do come, and there have been many people come that built the 2 families, a lot of the
this is
changes
not
are,
a 2 feet.
well, it won't be, but the design is, hey, we're gonna put something on an empty lot on a historic street, it's on a historic lot. That's what it is. I get that Guidewire has different
Right,
elements and things that need to make the business work. But it's in a historic district, it's on a historic plot, it's surrounded with historic houses, that's the reality. So how we make that kind of blend in with what's already there so that you don't have 12 pillars and maybe you have 3 pillars or 6
so you're not
pillars,
advocating to,
where you have,
any of you were at, you're not advocating, I just wanna make sure.
yeah, I just,
When I go,
when I see that,
you're not
like I
advocating
said,
to
it looks
totally
clear.
eliminate the porch. You're just saying. you
No,
want-
I'm just saying, when I look at that,
Yeah.
I see a commercial building, it doesn't look at all historic to me, and I would expect that to be on a residential street,
Yeah.
historic district,
Okay.
in McKnight. So,
What,
more of the elements we look for are things that have the same pitches and the roof pitch and where lights are and
Right.
that kind of stuff, and that's so flat and so long, it's hard to try and envision.
It's, by the way,
How
it's the way the rendering does attenuate it a little bit, but it's not a flat roof, it's a slope.
Sure,
It's
but
not as steeply sloped
but
as the neighbors, but those are Victorian houses.
Yeah.
We're not building a Victorian.
well, right, but again, you're in the Victorian neighborhood, and
So,
surrounded with those, so.
you have a choice. The problem is, I can't vote for that. I'm just 1 of 6. But you're hearing a lot of discomfort from others. So what we're suggesting is that you find it's not the 2-story, although that'd be very Victorian. That's not what I read in the letters. They want a Victorian look to the house. You can design stuff that's faux Victorian on one end of it or one side of it. I mean, even the entryway on the side doesn't even go with the entryways that you saw in all of the other samples up and down the neighborhood.
No, the entryway's right in the middle. That's, the
Where are the steps?
steps are on either side.
Right,
It's a long porch.
right. But I'm saying that also doesn't fit with the neighborhood, they're all in the front. So all the steps lead up to the front, so if you can, it's not 2-story, it's that it's not anything remotely
Yeah.
close to reflecting the historic nature of that neighborhood.
Okay,
And you are a talented architect who can make that happen.
I believe that in my heart, and you know, I guess I would say, like, you know, some people said, why didn't you present this to the neighborhood, council or whatever, but then when we got the relief from the planning office, I said, because I knew, that people would be opposed
Remember,
to pretty
there's
much any.
Apples and oranges, right? So this board is just what it looks like. The
Right,
neighborhood council is a community piece that is about, how does it fit? Is it appropriate? Do we like this or not like this? In this venue, it's irrelevant,
yeah,
because we're only about what it looks like and does it fit historically.
And that doesn't look like it fits historic.
okay. Yeah, and I want to point out too that you can't really see it in the rendering, but the roof does go up and down. The ridge is tallest in the middle. And
Oh, I do, yeah.
yeah, and so I would want to try to preserve that. What I could offer is, I think, I mean, I could go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and attempt to move the bedrooms to the back so that you would get a much, however, it pretty much, I would still stick, because this is I think it's a very unique design. I don't know, have any of you ever heard of Royal Barry Willis? You know Royal Barry Willis well, he did a house on Ingersoll Grove and he had. You know, windows like that and a tall ceiling space. And it's, most of it's one story. There's one tiny little second floor. Anyway, that's what I was using a little bit as inspiration, but. I think that might, and then I could. Responding to the criticism, try to pick up some more, Victorian. Right. However, you have to be careful with that because this is not a Victorian house. And it's never gonna be one. And guide wire doesn't.
You can't jam it all into one.
Guide wire doesn't need a Victorian house. They want a straightforward house that they can service their clients with. That doesn't disrespect the neighbor.
Right. But there are other styles that are in that Victorian, they're colonial, I saw Georgian. So there are other styles closer to. Closer to this than the fancy Victorians with their little turrets and.
Right.
Places. So you're gonna have a hard time with that. And it's a very interesting structure, design wise, and you've done great with materials.
So I guess
I know what you're saying.
So I guess the really the choice is yours. We can vote on it tonight as it is. Or you can ask for a continuance and try and redesign something and come back with something.
Well, I guess like, I'm trying to think what would be better for my. Clients, I'm not trying to actually cut off. If David wants to speak and echo some of your comments, feel free, but, it might almost be better. If you voted against it. And then we'll come back. Because they have a board of directors. And they need to know that.
I have no problem.
And if you put a continuance, they might say, geez, maybe Steve's just.
Well, we're, again, you're representing the petitioner, so that you wanna do, so if you wanna vote us tonight, we're happy to do it.
I think that's the way they would. But if you could also, which I'm sure you will, say. I'm gonna vote this way because of X, Y, and Z. Not just voting no or voting yes.
We actually really have to give issue.
Don't you usually give comments or?
You know, we don't, I don't have to say I'm voting this way because of it.
Okay.
That's individuals don't do.
So, and just to also offer, the minutes will be available, the recording's available, so if the directors wanted to see that as a
Right.
backup, so you don't necessarily have to go through the denial. But if you prefer.
I mean, I wanna say,
Understand that.
they're good people, but they don't understand historical conditions. And if I went back to them and say, I agree to redesign the building and move the bedrooms to the back, they'd say, you did that in public? What? You crazy? You made us spend more money on redesign.
I understand exactly in that position.
And but if I say, hey, guess what? They voted it down.
Yes.
We have no choice but to redesign it. And these are the suggestions they gave. I think I can get it across, go away with another try.
Okay,
So we still recommend public comment and.
well, I'm gonna read all the letters.
All the letters?
I'd rather read all, we're having the meeting now, so I gotta read all the letters in.
No, I didn't know if I would do theirs.
So I figured I'd read it first, and then if somebody here already presented the letter, they can have
Oh, okay.
a shorter statement.
I'm gonna go print something off real fast and.
Yeah, let's go bring something off.
I'll
I'll be busy reading, so we have several letters of public comment that I need to read into the record. So this one comes from Jim Boone dated September 1st, they're the Bassett and Board of Directors of staff is this the guy where. I write to you about a concerning proposed residence at Bolton Street, Springfield. Our neighborhood has a long history of welcoming residents with a wide range of needs as they re-enter the community and live with us as neighbors. At one time, McKnight had over 35 homes being used as community residences. Currently, there are over 4 community-based residences within 2 blocks of your proposed Bolton Street home. My concern is not the proposed use, but the proposed design. McKnight is a historic district of unique and outstanding Victorian era homes. Bowman Street features some of the largest, most unique and architecturally significant homes in the city and McKnight Historic District. To erect a building in the middle of this residential area that does not reflect the architecture around it, it stands out in a way that is detrimental to the neighborhood and the people who live there. The goal of having a community residence in neighborhoods is normalization, to be part of the neighborhood. To place a building that stands out due to its inappropriate, non-compliant architecture will draw attention to its residents. This is a disservice to the people who live there. I know that other homes you run in other neighborhoods are consistent in design with their neighbors. They fit in on Bend Street, Laurelwood, and Stalker. A single story building that reminds one of a commercial medical building does not fit in, will not be accepted by the neighborhood. This could have a negative impact on those that live there. If your program needs a single story building, McKnight is not an appropriate location for it. If you wish to move forward with your plans for community residents on Bozeman Street, I hope that you'll work with your architect who has a fine historic preservation reputation to design a building more in keeping with its surroundings. The current design may be fine in another place, just not in McKnight Historic District and Bozeman Street. As a point of reference, I've been a resident of McKnight for over 50 years. I was involved in the deinstitutionalization in the 70s and appreciate the need for good community housing for everyone. I have a master's in Cage degree rehabilitation counseling from Springfield College. I worked with special services for 30 years with the town of Springfield. I currently serve on the board of New England Business Associates, NEVA, that provides job development support for people with developmental disabilities. I fully support community-based programs and those that serve them. I know what works and what cannot be in the best interest of people who we serve. Since they don't ever share. Next one's from Hector Rodriguez. Springfield Planning Commission in opposition to the new construction in Bozeman Street. Dear members of the Springfield Historic Commission, as a resident, community member of the McKnight Historic District, I am writing to respectfully express my opposition to the proposed new construction of a single-family residence on West South Bozeman Street. After reviewing the project details, considering its potential impact, I believe the application does not meet the requirements of the neighborhood or reflect the shared vision of its members. In particular, I'd like to highlight the following concerns. Architectural design. The whole structure does not adequately reflect Queen Anne, colonial, revival, or other architectural styles that define the United Historic District. Scale and mass and the size and form of the building are not consistent with adjacent historic properties. Community impact. Many neighbors share their concerns. Projects have not enhanced the historic district, but instead introduces elements that detract from its long-term preservation. Neighborhood has worked hard to preserve its historic identity, and approval of incompatible construction would set an unfortunate precedent. Strength of our community lies in its historic integrity and the careful stewardship of its resources. Introducing a design that does not align with the district's guidelines risks diminishing the very character the commission is tasked to protect. I respectfully urge the commission to deny the application and request a new construction proposal at this time be revised to fully meet the historic district's requirements and reflect the values of its residents. Thank you for your careful attention and continual dedication to preserving the characters for our community. Sincerely, Hector Rodriguez.
Maybe get it.
Sure, Miss Song.
We do. Would make concern, my name is Felicia Palm, I'm writing regards of the plans of building some family in between 86 Bozeman Street and 1 Bozeman Street. I think it would be a bad idea building a single family, one level property on a street with all these historic homes that are 3 levels and also take away the value of our homes in the area. Current homes to be planted are all historic in nature and value. I've seen the images and it does not have a historical feel to it, since there's snow. Next is he is Jamal Seymour. I live at 86 Bozeman Street, Springfield, Mass. Information was shared with me about a single level property being built next to my home in our McKnight Historic community. I've shown blueprints of what the property looks like. This property does not look appropriate. Properties in the neighborhood. Our historic neighborhood with use value, then that in itself is an issue and problem with the family made homes on 3 stories or higher. I mean, that's as a taxpayer citizen in the USA. Moved to Springfield because of the history and value of the property in Springfield since 2017. These people think it shows the loan value of the property. My home is for my legacy, my children, responsible for company building and location. These are concerns that I have, respect the signage of this season. That one more show. You know. September 1st, 2025, from the concern, both structural plan home to be put this very historic district of Grove Street simply is not appropriate. It does not come from many of the older show homes on the street that are all 3-story Victoria villas. This proposed plan won't possibly reduce the value of these retirement villages. Historical homes paid for these. This like district neighbors kept us pride keeping these traditions. Valerie Paul, 18 Brooklyn, East.
Now this one from Alan Dewar, Bowman Street. Dear Historic Commission, is the property owner on Bowman Street, I'm not happy about the construction of West South Bowman Street. Upon seeing the proposed image, it does not fit into a Victorian large home area. I do not see how this can possibly fit in our neighborhood. My concerns are will lower property value, destroy what the community, the historic houses has, and its appeal to new homeowners. Plus, in the long run, take away from what McKnight will offer in the future. Sincerely, James Petriak. Keith Carmack, to my concern, the proposed structure of West South Bowman Street location does not fit in with the century-old and older homes. It would look very out of place. I hope you understand the importance of this. Will not approve this extremely unattractive structure. You must be careful about what is added to this important historic neighborhood. McKnight wants new and appropriate structures, once inappropriate structures are added, they will be here for a long time. Bowman Street and all of its McKnight has many 3-story homes. In the future, people who are interested in living in this historic neighborhood would not care for this new proposed structure, which would make it hard for present homeowners to sell their homes. We purchased here in McKnight because of these historic homes. This proposed structure would lower property values. Not something we all want, so please do the right thing and veto this abomination. Do you know which what they Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah Buttery. 79 Bowden Street. Dear Commissioners, I wish to request the rejection of the proposed construction listed as a single-family home on the currently vacant property known as W.S. Bowden Street. The current organization proposing the application is applying under appropriateness. As noted in the Commissioner's records, the creation of the District McKnight as Springfield's 3rd local historic district created in 1976. It is a Victorian neighborhood composed of architecturally fine houses, and although individual structures may not be significant, the relationship between the various buildings creates a whole, which is greater than the sum of its parts. Built between 1870 and 1900, the district is still remarkably intact. In your regulations, it is also considered this technologically delightful area. A review attempts to ensure that changes are compatible with the character of the district. In order to be approved by the Commission, a new project must display that it is acceptable for the district. The proposed construction by Guidewire Inc. at W.S. Bowden Street is totally unacceptable architecture for the area, which includes predominantly Victorian 3-story homes. We are aware that Guidewire Inc. is a nonprofit organization servicing individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and this is commendable, and they serve multiple individuals throughout the area. Had they submitted an application for a structure architecturally appropriate for this area, this would not be creating such a significant disapproval. However, the creation of a 1-story building, which looks like it belongs in a mini mall of offices, will set it apart and draw negative attention to the property and those living there. If inclusion into a neighborhood is important, then creating a building similar in architecture is more appropriate than a distinctly different architecture, which draws more attention to the differences and the population living there. I have been a Bowden Street resident for 45 years and have seen the reestablishment of the neighborhood from the 1970s, when numerous houses were subdivided into multiple apartments and were in unfavorable condition, to a revitalization of these significant homes, which has resulted in pride in that restoration, which shows a commitment to their original design. This effort continues and is admired by members of the neighborhood and visitors from the community and surrounding towns. Please disapprove this design for W.S. Bowden Street. Do what is correct and reject this proposed This is from John Tom, 79 Bowden Street, Springfield Historic Commission. Please reject the proposal for a single family, one floor house between 86 and 104 Bowden Street. Not only does the design blatantly disregard compatibility with the other residential and historic homes in this historic district, but it has more the appearance of a commercial building than a residence. It would greatly detract from the appeal and value of our neighborhoods. Thank you one more. Matilda Pavolo. 70 Bowden Street. Subject, opposition to proposed group home in McKnight neighborhood. Dear Historic Commission, I'm writing to formally express my opposition to your proposal to establish a new group home within the McKnight neighborhood. While I recognize the importance of supportive housing and the need for community-based care, the McKnight area has already been disproportionately burdened with an over-concentration of group homes. Our neighborhood has long welcomed diverse populations and demonstrated compassion and understanding. However, the ongoing saturation of group homes in McKnight has placed significant strain on local resources, altering the residential character of our community and created imbalances compared to other neighborhoods in Springfield. Residents deserve a fair distribution of such facilities across the city so that no single area shoulders an unfair share of the responsibility. In addition, the proposal to construct a new group home that must adhere to historic district building codes is not appropriate or in the spirit of the McKnight historic neighborhood. The historic nature of our community is central to its identity, and new institutional style development risks undermining the architectural integrity and character of the residents and the city have worked diligently to preserve. Approving yet another group home in McKnight, particularly one that conflicts with the neighborhood's historic character, would only deepen existing concerns, further diminishing the stability, balance, and long-term vitality of our community. I strongly urge the Springfield Historic Commission to reject this proposal so that Guidewire Inc. can seek a more equitable location that ensures both supportive services and historic preservation are respected. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I trust that you will take into account the concerns of McKnight residents who are striving to preserve the integrity, balance, and future of our neighborhood.
This one's from Richard Gregg. Dear Commissioners, I'm running to the Commission today to express my disagreement with the proposed installation of a building in Bowden Street. By the former MHA organization. I immediately see a number of reasons why this proposed structure should not be allowed in the McKnight Historic District on Bowden Street. The very first reason is that it should not be constructed there is the nature and character of the proposed building. The structure belongs in some strip mall alongside of a highway and not in a Victorian designated area. The next reason I objected to the proposal is that when MHA was given support for the women's shelter on Florida Street, one street over, it was agreed by MHA and the neighborhood council there would be no more institutions of this type installed in the historic district. The next objection I have is that when this district was established some 50 years ago, one of the agreements was presented and agreed to by residents of the district was that any structure that was built as a fill-in structure within the district would be of the character of the original structure on that open lot and that it was going to be placed on. That, of course, being one of the strong points of our original application as a historic district was to keep Victorian nature of the whole district whole. The district was approved as a whole, not as an individual piece of property or a section. I believe that means that everything within the district in terms of parcels makes up the whole, which was why the district was designated as such. Another reason for my objection is that within a block of the proposed building, there are 2 daycare centers with young children's and 3 or 4 group homes. Being licensed or not, I believe that this would justify as any oversaturation of this type for home. Feel confident that you as commissioners will see the value of reviewing and objecting to the structure or any other building be placed on any other open parcel that does not meet the standard of the McKnight Neighborhood Council. Did not meet the McKnight Neighborhood, the historic district, and the wishes of its residents. It's really all right. Yeah, just one from Jennifer Brown. Jennifer Rao, dear Commissioners, I write to oppose the application for reconstruction on the South Bowden Street. The design looks like a commercial building and not a residence. Moreover, it does not meet the basic standards of historic compatibility design for new construction in the historic district. And in particular on the street with historically and architecturally significant elegant homes at McKnight. The Dover Amendment was intended to allow people with disabilities to live free from discrimination because of their disability in the neighborhood of their choosing. Does not allow a business entity providing services to the disabled to have greater rights than all the rest of the neighbors and ignore their historic rules and zoning. Sincerely, Jennifer Russ. Okay, so that's all the public comment I have. I will ask for public comment. I'll ask you to keep it within a minute, please. If you are for or against, we'll open up the public comment. You want to have public comment? Name and address for the record.
My name is Harry Seymour and I live at 68 Washington Road in here in Springfield. And I am also want to join the chorus of people against this design. I would certainly hope that it's not really about the group home issue, that it's about the architecture. And I agree with the comments that it looks like a business. I was just looking for a parking lot when I was looking at the picture there.
Anyone else for guys?
Sarah Murray, 79 Bowden Street, and I did submit a letter, but I would just like to make additional comments. Mr. Jablonski's reference to Atwater and the fact that 2-story and 1-story homes do exist in that neighborhood. It should be noted that Atwater is not an historic district, and that the 2-story and 1-story homes that do exist in McKnight were built prior to the designation of McKnight as an historic district. So they were sort of grandfathered in. And I also think that if he had chosen to submit an architectural design, noted it would probably be more expensive of at least a 2-story home. There is the possibility that they could use inside elevators. I know many people that have inside elevators, which negate the negative factor of limited no mobility of the residents, and it would make it more acceptable in the neighborhood. Therefore, people walking by would accept that building and the residents therein and not look on it askance as inappropriate.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak for you guys?
I'd like to.
We're not doing a debate. This is just public.
No, I'm a resident, I can speak.
Okay, well, I'm gonna finish. Who's here? But I see your hand, so you have a chance to speak as well.
James Johnson, 78 Baldwin, 2 houses down from that. You could turn the house, that's your choice. But my house is 75 feet long. So telling me about the width or the dimensions and stuff is just a moot point. You don't know who designed it. So the houses are longer on that street, the lots are deeper on that street, and you could have made it fit. The design of my front porch is an Italian ice snake. So there are multiple designs. Sarah, her house actually has an Italian ice snake. So you can have a flat roof in the neighborhood. There are a number of houses on Florida Street and other streets that have flat roofs. So they tell me about the lights and stuff. Well, that's part of the neighborhood. Certain houses have more lights than the other. As far as it being a group home or whatever home, we don't know about the people in the house, but I did do shared living with MHA, and I'll tell you, so I don't have a problem with people with disabilities living in the neighborhood, but you never know that I had somebody with a disability because there's no sign on my front door advertising that. So that insinuation is kind of insulting for the residents there to think that it's just because of the types of people that live there. When we probably have like the holiest street in the city, where there are 4 churches, and then Magazine Commons right directly behind my house. I can throw a baseball from my house and hit Magazine Commons, but you never hear me complain about any of their residents. So that right there in itself, you know, we're fine with it as terms of people. We're not saying nothing about the people. It just doesn't look right. You know, so it has like one of the nicest gardens. I have a rose bush that I've been curating in the backyard. So if you showed us a floral design and stuff like that, a garden space, and made it fit, we would be more acceptable. And then the front porch. There were no steps, like it's on the side, nobody has a porch like that.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Name and address for the record.
Hi, my name's Tom Howe. I live at 146 Bowman Street. I've been here since 1987. My wife and I bought the house that came from Concord Terrace, and it was moved over to the lot on Bowman Street. I put a lot of money into it, a lot of sweat equity, trying to make sure that the house, in fact, I have a lovely picture. I'll show you guys.
If you have like a minute, so.
All right,
We can't,
I will
we
finish.
usually say 4 against, we give you one.
I am against it.
I want to respect your, if you have input.
The reason is, I put a lot of effort into this. We provided a lot of support, made neighborhood functions, McKnight Council. That house looks more like a Cracker Barrel restaurant than it does a structure that will fit into our neighborhood. And so far as porches being on the side, there are houses where they have porches in this neighborhood, which are in a U shape, they go around the sides. So that argument is.
So you're against?
I am against
Okay.
it.
Just want to make sure that was clear. You didn't start with that. I just wanted. Anyone else for, wants to speak for or against? Okay.
Steve Valensky, 22 Green Lane. I'm happy and proud to say that I support the design. I developed it, obviously. I understand the criticism, we can't please all our people all the time. I hear what people are saying, but I still love that design. I'm willing to try to change it. However, I will say, because you read all the stuff, everything I heard, what I heard in summary was 2 stories. That was the loudest, clearest. The second loudest, clearest was, even though a lot of people claim to support group homes, was that they didn't like group homes. The area is saturated with group homes, and that's not historically appropriate for this commission to consider. Neither, well, in a way, the 2-story thing is because I can redesign it.
Because we're.
Okay.
We're giving
I'm
everybody
willing
like 2 minutes.
Okay. Enough said.
You're in favor.
I'm in favor.
Thank you. Okay.
I want to record very quickly. I know you got this, but just for me, that I never, as I've ever sat here, felt that we did anything as a commission. This is just me, but ever that just wasn't relative to only what it looked like on the inside. I never had one.
Okay, hearing none in the public comment, I close public comment, bring it back to the commission.
That's right, you're supposed to do that first.
Well, you wanted to have a say, so I'll let you have your say, so. Okay, so any other discussion on this? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for the application as presented at West South Bowman Street.
I move that we reject the application for appropriateness.
You would.
How should I say that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
reject the application.
Okay, second.
You might have one modification. Second, so I think it would be better to word the motion in the affirmative, because
Then we have to.
We typically vote, yeah, you move it in the affirmative,
Because
and if you won't agree with it, we vote against.
yeah, because if you don't get 4 votes to reject it, the opposite is.
Right.
So if I move in to approve it, yeah, so I'm just gonna change the word in the minutes from reject, just accept.
All right,
Withdraw my second,
accept.
just withdraw your.
I withdraw and I move to accept the application for appropriateness.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Okay, Vice Chair Kroll is no. Commissioner Kroll online,
No.
Commissioner Walsh? No. And Commissioner Esper?
No.
So it passes. Well, we appreciate the presentation and
Most likely we'll be back with another design. But
okay, and I'll just echo what Commissioner Wall said, I mean, I can just tell you when I'm here, it's whatever it looks like and whatever the rules are, so use, not use, that's not what this venue is.
okay,
All we're doing is all I do is take the rules that are applied to us. We apply them to what's in front of us.
I think what says as a former commissioner and person that's spent their life in historical design. It's a tricky problem because the obvious solution, I don't know, the obvious solution is a two-story dwelling. Not guy where doesn't want that, they're not gonna pay for
Well,
that, they're not gonna build that.
That's your seesaw balance. But you have
No,
the-
it's yours. With
But
all
we
due
have the
respect,
same
if
conversation.
everyone in the neighborhood sees
We
something,
have the same conversation with
is a
people
one
that showed
story
up here.
that was modified,
But Steve, listen,
or is a vacant lot, which.
when people show up here, it's
Is
the
that,
same
is that
thing. When
increasing
people say,
property values?
okay, well, if you wanna talk and not listen, then that's we're good. So, thanks for coming.
All right.
Okay, this one's already been moved. Standard guidelines.
I need to kick that down the road.
Yep, so you will vote for that one, we already did the section 106.
Do we want to continue it or just kind of take it off the agenda and bring it up at a later date? We can discuss it later.
We'll wait for
I mean, it's just
More than 4 people with the suggestions to make sure we have
That's always my suggestion.
having more than 4 people. So,
that, and I think just to have a little bit more time to discuss anything where it hasn't already been 2 hours.
Right, 2 hours already, more than 5 fast.
Which it always happens.
So what did you say you were?
I think make it the agenda, maybe when it's a lighter agenda, I'll stick it on when it's like 1 or 2 items, so rather than continuing it, I'll just take it off.
Okay.
And it's a hearing though, technically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just making, just
Yeah,
motion.
let's go with October 16th.
I can't do it then.
Okay, October 2nd.
Excuse me,
I'm just motioning to move it.
I will be down.
So, okay, yeah.
We'll make them move it,
I should.
Second.
Okay, give a second on that.
Second.
Mhm.
Okay, all in favor to move to October 2nd?
October 2nd, aye.
Thank you. Okay. October 2nd. Okay, the Forest Park Nights letter of support relating to street lighting.
That's huge.
Your commitment is
We need a light moment.
All right.
Oh, aren't you with the hominid?
Are we gonna have anything else to vote on?
So,
I'd like you to vote on the last one, is just the letter of support for street lighting.
Oh,
Last one. And you can fly like an eagle.
You feeling all right?
no, I'm not.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road, Springfield. And I would like you to support our effort to make the lights that are going to be installed soon at the X to be historic lights that are appropriate for the neighborhood rather than the Cobra style lights that are appropriate, we think, for highways and parking lots.
Okay, so we have a proposed letter. Support.
I have the editing of it.
I have no problem with you editing it. I have provided the draft on the now.
Yeah. And I know that the ink gets a whole, so. You see that, it's a little bit of editing.
I'll take your edit.
But, you know, do it.
So do we need to have the final edits now and vote on this, or?
I would suggest that.
I would say vote the support, generally what was
The
provided.
idea of this, and we can get the.
Yeah, and I'll do that tomorrow, Harry, and get it over to him.
Certainly do support a letter. I mean, the letter does, it indicates, there's a few things that I make sure being prepared, but you'll see.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we're wording it correctly, letting people know that we really don't have any control or authority.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, this is all I changed a little bit here. So some opinion SCC, the storage style street lights are more in keeping with the air. You don't hold that sentence on. You know, wait for the next paragraph. Storage style street lights contribute to the charm and why people work there. SCC is no direct responsibility. That's okay, that's, so then I went right down to therefore up here, put it on this one, we encourage a continuation of 3 months. Lighting whatever possible, the storage. Yeah, just a couple of edits, because it's a little bit redundant in there. And I expect you might find a few other ways, but that's my thought on it, and I'm in support of this, and I'll make a point that we put a letter together, so.
I appreciate it very much.
Second.
Great. Any other discussion on that? Okay, so all those in favor?
I
Aye.
Yes, I.
Any opposed? Thank you. Guys have it?
Yes.
We will do it.
Okay,
Hope we get those streetlights. They're right up.
any, the last item would be, well, September 18th forum call.
expect to be here. And then proceeds with.
We here.
Judy, you better get yourself better.
I'm gonna be around. I don't know for sure yet.
All right, see.
Hey, just don't get.
I can't commit right now to the 18th.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got, COVID or something?
I'm just not feeling well.
I think he might be recovering from his hernia.
The double hernia,
Yeah, so.
the staggered hernia.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes care of the September, any public speak out?
We want to give an update real fast.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so just a few things, on 90 Clarendon Street, we had that person on the agenda.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come back, due to some medical
This
issues.
is a fence.
This was the fence.
This is the fence.
I was hoping that you guys would be amenable to allowing her to participate the Zoom, which I know that's generally something we don't do, but she has trouble.
Well, she's medically impaired,
Yes.
right? But I guess it's just a legal thing. Do we make, have we made that accommodation for somebody? I think we have.
Yeah,
That if you're medically impaired, you have to wear your powerful remotely.
It's a very powerful.
I don't see why we wouldn't allow it. I mean, it's just.
It's reasonable accommodation.
Yeah.
I think this.
And the judge strongly suggests that
Yeah.
she go from you
Yeah.
guys, so.
Yep, very powerful law.
Great.
flying through some of this, 60 Buyer Street. They just wanted an updated historic determination letter. I did that. Not something we usually do. They requested it.
Yeah.
127, 129 Piney Woods, chimney foundation repairs, 97 Thompson Street, asphalt shingles. 34 Normandy Road was a storm door, 104 Marengo Park asphalt shingles with repairing wood shakes on both sides of the house. And 123 Bay Street, which we heard today, they're just doing more in-kind roof porch chimney repairs. I did meet with, there was a maintenance and something subcommittee meeting yesterday with Councilor Brown and people from the trust and people
With every source.
with Eversource, yeah.
Electric smart meter replacement.
Yes,
Yeah.
so basically what I assume or not assume, what I found out was pretty much confirmed. Basically, when there's an electric meter being switched from inside to outside, it's on the electrician and the homeowner to get the permitting. And I think one of the reasons why electricians or applicants are showing up here saying the electric meter can't be moved from the front to the rear or to the backside is because in the manual that Eversource is putting out, they say that it must be installed on the front. But Eversource says that they are amenable to allowing it in historic districts to put on the side, so it should.
Yeah, it would be good to get that right. They've told us that.
Yeah.
Since they've sent something erroneous now.
Yeah.
If that's erroneous and they're saying it's erroneous.
Yeah.
Even if they put something in an email
Yeah.
that says, this is what our policy is.
I will follow up
That way,
with
if
them.
somebody says something different, you have something from the entity saying, no, that's not true.
Yep, I will get that in writing, so whenever someone comes to us.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everybody says what they either hear or want to hear.
People don't know, they believe that electrician tells them they can't do it, they believe they
Yeah,
can't.
and I think the electrician is thinking they can.
Electrician is thinking the shortest.
Well, that's the thing. If it's in the front, I'll just move it to the front and go like feet.
Yeah, so.
Hey, that changes everything, that's pretty good news.
And so, Eversource is going to be looking at that policy and adding in language, this, if you're in a historic district, you might be able to have more flexibility, and then, the process typically is the electrician will reach out to Eversource requesting to move the meter. One of the requests we have is asking whether they're located in a historic district, so that will prompt the electrician to start thinking about it. So and then from Springfield side, I'm gonna reach out to the neighborhood councils to see if they can help spread the word about Eversource moving these meters to the outside and hopefully letting people know that they should be contacting me to see if they need any approvals. So that was essentially the overview of that meeting. So I think it was positive all around.
Yeah, great.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, it's good.
Okay,
So that.
updates, anything else? Commissioner Kroll, anything from you?
No, I got nothing, but a great meeting tonight.
Can you read all those letters again for me? I didn't really pay attention to that, bud. So all of the letters, can you reread them, please?
Everything your health.
I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up.
Living room.
We're gonna email you copies.
If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to dismiss.
So moved.
Thank you, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks, John Boy.